Hey Futurists, it's me, Miss Metaverse, and we're here today at the Wanted Design Expo in New York City. I'm here with Nooka founder, Matthew Waldman.
Oh, thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me, and tell me about your company, Nooka.
Well, Nooka is a design lab, and we're based here in New York City. And I founded the practice on the concept of universal language, passive intelligence, and also about bringing techno-progressivist expectations to everyday objects and to fashion.
So tell me about what do you design? I mean, I see that you have these really cool watches and
Well, our first product was a watch, but the intention of the company really is a mind style brand with products that make you think about language and interaction and process. So there's something very subversive about it, but it's still a fashion brand. We want things to look, we want people to want to look at what you're wearing. We want it to express your personality and also to have the design convey a little bit about the person that's wearing it as well.
can you tell me more about the simplicity of the design?
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people, when they first come across a new product, or especially the watches, they think it's more complicated than it actually is. And most adults forget that they had to learn how to tell time in grade school and they had homework. And this should let someone know that it's not an intuitive thing if you have to teach it to a child. When you look at a child, the beauty of them picking up an iPad and figuring out how to use it, that's intuitive design. So I wanted to come up with an interface for time that just transcended all the linguistics and the math, so that even a 3-year-old can look at the product, look at the watch or the clock, and they can tell exactly what does this thing do.
It's like the real smartwatch.
Well, it's smart. The philosophy behind the brand is very smart. The watches themselves, the technology, that's where we want to move next. Right now, everything we have is fairly traditional digital technology with, quartz chips and LCDs. But the next thing that we want to do is wearable tech, which is one of the reasons I conceptualized the show that's behind us with Mark Thorpe here at Wanted Design.
Okay, so tell me more about the Nuka Zonal show you have.
Absolutely. A nooka zonal is a concept to show that the philosophy behind the Nooka brand is a philosophical platform for innovation. So what we did with this show with my co-curator, Mark Thorpe, is divide the body loosely on Vedic chakras, so from dream, head, heart, core, and assign each of the 7 zones to a designer. So this is one of the first times that I've totally let go and just gave a creative brief to another designer to see how they would interpret the Nooka brand for something that was focused on the concept of the zone and also on wearable technology. So we worked with Luca Nicchetto and Lera Moseva, a Russian designer. Luca is Italian. We worked with New York designers Joe Doucet, Paul Loback, Mark Thorpe, Todd Bracher, and also a Dutch designer based in China named Rem Koolhaas, who has a brand called United Nude. So the 7 designers interpreted the brief and came up with really amazing products for those zones.
Can you tell me about the products and what you designed?
Sure. Each designer came up with very interesting products. Todd's product is I guess you would call it a life clock that has nanosensors and measures your life, either counting down, depending on, or counting up, depending on whether you're an optimist or a pessimist. And Rem interpreted the architecture of shoes, because something very architectural about shoes, and trying to more directly relate that type of design language. Paul did very minimalist headphones that are really quite gorgeous. Joe did a selfie mirror that refers to for the core of how one refers to themselves. It's a handheld mirror that has a camera in it and can transmit the photos directly to your phone or to your computer or save it on memory. And who else do we have? Did I cover everything? Oh, yeah. And Mark came up with some wearable tech as a watch that actually would react to the user's body shape. It would transform and be very comfortable and project the display via a hologram. And Nolan New, a Los Angeles-based designer, he came up with an interactive dog collar. This is for the locomotion zone. And what it would do is also monitor your dog, and when you're not using it to walk the dog, also know where it is. It's just a very stylish way to incorporate GPS and other technology into a pet product.
Wow, that's really fascinating. Wow.
I can't believe I memorized most of that. So.
Well, you did a really good job. Well, that sounds really interesting to me. When can we actually expect to see some of these things?
Well, some of them are purely conceptual. Like Luca and Lara's project is actually a satellite that you send out into outer space, and it has 360-degree speakers and cameras. So if it encounters a spaceship or an alien, that it will transmit those images back to you, or just the images of the stars. And if you come across another sentient being and they take it into their ship, they could take the dome off and then have chat with you, like do a little Skype. So
That sounds amazing.
yeah, the show is very conceptual, but some of the products can be easily turned into nooka products. The selfie mirror is probably one of the easiest ones to put into production. A lot of the concepts in the other pieces, well, actually, a lot of them can be produced, but now we'll see based on the response which ones we put into production.
I could definitely tell you at least 5 people that would love that selfie mirror right now.
I think it could be a very hot product.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. So before we wrap things up, we want to talk about nooka.com. That's where you can actually go and check out some of Matthew's amazing products that he has rolling out. And also,
Well, yeah, nooka.com, you can get our current line of timepieces and belts and wallets and sunglasses. I like to say that the only place we're all going to go is the future, so you should dress the part. So that's it's one of my little marketing lines there. And keep visiting and checking back for all our conceptual products, and we'll bring to the market hopefully by holiday or next year.
and before we go, what do you think? What do you think that fashion's going to be like in another 10 years?
In 10 years, I think what's going to happen is a lot of the sensor technology is going to get so small and so ubiquitous that you're not going to need a lot of hardware to get a lot of feedback from your body. So the whole health space is really going to blow up. The other thing would be high performance fibers and more about energy harvesting as well. I mean, that's something that I'm personally very interested in. I think that energy harvesting is something that, even just being here at a trade show and having to find an outlet to charge your phone and looking for extra batteries, I mean, it seems very last century to me, and battery technology definitely has not kept up with what consumer expectations.
So, what are 2 concepts that really fascinate you about this futuristic technology and fashion?
Well, for me, actually, I'm thinking beyond 10 years. I'm thinking more about genetic engineering. I think you should be able to inoculate yourself with, need a sweater for the winter, you should be able to give yourself a shot or a scratch, and it should just grow on your body. I think personal fashion, I think it has to be more, I think the designers of the future are going to be genetic engineers. I don't think it's going to be traditional fashion design.
Have you watched the series Orphan Black yet?
I have not.
Okay. You're going to love that show. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming out and meeting me. And you are definitely very interesting. And I love your creations. They're really cool. So we are going to check out more later. We're going to Gizmodo's Home of the Future event. And Matthew is going to have his products there. And we'll continue.
I'm actually on a panel discussion on the future of fashion.
Okay, so perfect. Before we leave, we just want to say that we're going to be going out to the Gizmodo Home of the Future event, where we're going to catch up with Matthew, and he's doing a panel discussion about the future in fashion.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Some really amazing designers on the panel with me, so definitely come and check it out.
What's the theme of the discussion?
It's the future of fashion and wearable tech. But they have some really, I don't want to give too much away, but really amazing designers on the panel.
Sounds really cool. Okay, so we'll meet you over there.